Hello and welcome back to a brand new Zatu Games review with me, the Honest Meeple. Today, as you can tell from the title of the video, we are going to be looking at Ticket to Ride Europe, perhaps one of the most popular games out at the moment. It's very much a gateway game, so if you've never been into board gaming before, this is a great start. So what we'll be doing is having a look inside what's in the box, and then doing a quick review and a quick how to play as well. So let's get on with it. Now, if you're familiar with the original Ticket to Ride, which is obviously based in America, what's new with Europe? So the big thing is obviously it's based in Europe, so you've got the European map with all the different countries and railroads. You also have three separate features added into the game. The first of which is tunnels. So you have the black bracketed boxes here. If you want to claim one of these routes, then you have to succeed in the challenge that will be 3 cards turned over. If any of those cards match the colour of the route you're claiming, you then have to pay an extra card per card that's turned over. So for example, let's say I wanted to claim this pink route here and I'd already paid my 2 cards. Unfortunately, in those cards there's another pink card, so I'd have to play another one from my hand. If I didn't have that, I wouldn't be able to claim the route. So that's one of the new features. The other one is ferries. So as you can see, there's some routes that begin with either one train, or for example over London to Amsterdam you're looking at 2 trains. That simply means, unfortunately, you will have to make sure that you play a wild card dependent on how many trains is on that route. So for these ones here, you'd only have to pay 1 for the Amsterdam route. For routes over here, you would have to pay 2 wild cards. And finally, last but not least, is the inclusion of stations. Now, stations allow players that unfortunately may have missed out on a route and that's already been claimed by another player, but they can claim it for themselves. These are the stations here. Each player starts with 3 of them. They can then place it for a cost. So if it's your first station, you pay 1 card of any colour. If it's your second station, it will be 2 cards of the same colour. The third station would be 3 cards of the same colour. But you can place this on any city you like. And that means you can claim 1 route going into or out of that city that has already been claimed by someone else. So let's say, for example, I was trying to complete a route from Roma all the way up to Paris, and unfortunately someone had claimed the route from Marseille to Paris. I could place a station there, or indeed in Paris, and claim that route. Of course, you also get points if you don't use them, so at the end of the game you would claim actually 4 points per station. So while you may feel like you don't want to use them to save points, sometimes it might benefit you, especially if you want to complete a large route. So those are the new things about Ticket to Ride Europe. That's what's been included in this game. So let's have a look at what's inside the box and also how to play. So in the box you have the carriages for each player. I'll show you how to use these in a minute. You have the wooden point markers to keep track of your points throughout the game. You also get your stations. Each player will receive 3 of them. Some spare train carriages. And as you can see on the board, you also get a variety of cards. So the main deck of cards are the coloured train cards. These will obviously dictate throughout the game which routes you can play and which routes you can claim. While you'll also receive a deck of long and short routes. As you can see there, they'll all have varying routes on there. Obviously the shorter routes, while easier to claim, don't have as many points. And finally, you get the board, the map of Europe with its vast network of railroads that you need to work to connect. And that's it, really. This game is really simple to play, it's really simple to pick up, and that's kind of shown in what you get in here. There's not many mechanics to the game. It keeps it really simple and kind of down to earth. So, how do you play Ticket to Ride? I'll give you a quick demonstration. So, at the start of the game, each player will start off with a hand of cards. These cards, obviously the coloured cards, which dictate which routes you can claim. So, let's say, for example, I'm playing as green. I've got some trains here, so they'll be off to the side. But let's say I want to claim the route Paris to Frankfurt. I look in my hand, and of course I have 3 orange cards. So on my turn, I can simply play those cards and claim that route by placing my trains on there. And that's my go done. I also receive 4 points because I've laid 3 carriages down. For 1 and 2 train length routes, you'd receive 1 and 2 points respectively, and then the points increase for multiple kind of 4, 5 lengths. But as I say, for 3 you would get 4 points. So then I'd wait for my next go. And let's say I actually want to connect Frankfurt to Brussels, so I could do that via Paris. So I could simply pick the yellow card up on my go, and they'll turn that over. And you know what? I'll pick another one up and go there. So that makes my job easy. I can then claim that route next go. Let's say I wanted to extend it and go for a 4 length yellow route. So on my next go I could pick that card up there. And as much as I'd like to pick up a wild card, I can't because I've already picked up 1 yellow card. So I'll risk it and hope that the next card we draw is a yellow one. Unfortunately it's not, it's a green. So, as I say, next go you can choose to play those cards. There's no hand limit, so you don't have to worry about discarding cards when you reach 10 or whatever. You can just keep going and picking up cards so you can get the bigger routes. So for example, Stockholm to Petrograd is one of the biggest routes. It is a tunnel as well, so you've got to hope that you don't have any cards that are turned over that match your colour that you're playing, otherwise you'll be a bit stuck. But that's really it. That is the basis of Ticket to Ride. It's really simple to play, and as I say, anyone can pick it up. It's family friendly. Of course, while you're laying routes, you will have your 3 your 3 route cards. So you'll have 1 long route here, and then 2 shorter routes. It is almost mandatory to try and claim these, because if you don't, you're going to struggle for points. And if you don't, whichever routes you don't claim, you will be deducted the amount of points it's worth at the end of the game. You can choose to discard these at the beginning of the game. So if you don't like, if you're looking here and you're like, actually, I don't really want this one because it doesn't really connect up, whereas these 2 I could try and connect up together, get rid of that one and keep those 2. You can also draw an additional 3 short route cards later on in the game as a go, and then you can discard those up. Well, you have to keep at least one of them, but you can discard them later on in the game. And that's it. That is Ticket to Ride. So, let's hear my thoughts on what I think of the game and whether it's suitable for you. So, what are my thoughts on Ticket to Ride Europe as a game? I think it's fantastic. Especially as a gateway game for new players new to the hobby. What do I mean by gateway game? I mean a game that introduces people slowly and gently to the hobby, while also teaching them core mechanics of a game. So in this case, a big one would be hand management, but also shows them the joy that you can get from playing a board game. I'm a seasoned board gamer now. I prefer heavier games. I'm not going to shy away from that, but this always manages to get back to my table, be it with new players that haven't played board games before, and my regular gaming group. It's one that's dead easy to play, easy to set up, and you'll always get a good play value with it. Who wouldn't have thought that you could get so much joy from picking up coloured cards and laying these little plastic carriages down on the board? But you do, you get that sense of achievement when you finally claimed your big long route that's worth 22 points. And who could deny really enjoying hearing that kind of huff and puff from someone in the corner, because you've just claimed a little bit of their route, and it means they're going to have to try and claim 3 more routes to go around the corner to avoid yours. Its simplicity shines through, but you also get a fantastic play value with it. So, would I recommend this game? Of course I would. Especially to new players. If you are new to the hobby and you're watching these videos and you're trying to think, what should I start with? How can I get into this hobby? This is one that I would definitely recommend trying out. As I say, it's simple to play, it's easy to learn, and it's good for all members of the family. Children, teenagers, adults, you'll all be able to get on with this game. There are also children's edition, so you can get Ticket to Ride First Journey, which simplifies the game. It sizes it down slightly and makes it slightly easier for them to understand and learn. But I tell you what, as soon as they've started playing that, you can get them on this, and they'll probably be doing better than you or I. And while this game isn't just about gaining points, it's also kind of using that strategy. It's a fantastic game to kind of get into that strategy making game, as you could say. It really makes you think, and as you start playing, especially seasoned players of this game, will find that you can get pretty nasty with claiming routes that may be theirs, or they need to claim their big route. So yes, this is a fantastic game. I really highly recommend picking it up if you haven't played it already. And as I say, it would be one of my gateway games of choice if you are new to the hobby. So, of course, you will be able to pick this up on the Zatu website. That's zatu.co.uk. It's in stock and available to buy now. And as you're watching this with myself, the Honest Meeple, I can offer you a discount code that you can use at checkout. Just enter Honest Meeple 5, and that will give you 5% off any board game on the site on your entire order. So all the details are down below, including the link to this board game and obviously details on the discount code. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, do pop them down in the comments below. And I hope to see you all next time for another Zatu game review.